So joining us now at Rebel headquarters is Mitchell Weiss. He is running in Utah for the Senate seat. He's going to be up against Mitt Romney. That's going to be fun. Mitchell, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Cenk.
No problem. Mitchell, is it true that right now you don't have any opponents in the Democratic primary?
No, there are actually 3 opponents.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, so I saw that in my notes. I'm like, that can't be true.
Yeah.
So then what differentiates you from the other 3 folks in the primary?
Well, I don't know 2 of them, to be honest. They recently filed just a couple days before the deadline with the state. The other opponent that I do know, she's Councilwoman Jenny Wilson, and she is, the status quo. So what I differentiate myself from her is I'm more progressive. I stand for Medicare for all. I'm opposed to the death penalty. And I just have more progressive, more working class stances and concerns than I feel she does.
Okay, you've got on your priorities war on drugs. What's your stance on that?
Well, the war on drugs is basically it's a racist system set up to monetize, privatize prisons and create slave labor. If I could be that blunt.
But, yeah, you can be, and you just did. And when a lot of the prisoners are working for $1 a day, not even $1 an hour, yeah, that's modern day slavery, unfortunately. And so if you're fighting against that, well then bless your heart. You've also got tribal sovereignty on your list, which I don't see very often on folks' lists for priorities. So I imagine that's more of an issue in Utah, but what's your stance on tribal sovereignty?
Well, my stance is that there hasn't been tribal sovereignty. It is an issue here in Utah. Recently, we had a state House representative propose a joint resolution to ask Congress to exempt Utah from the Antiquities Act. And I went up to the Hill and spoke against that. Their reasoning was the Antiquities Act, making monuments and taking monuments away, was basically political football, and they wanted to be exempt from the president's whim. But in reality, we have a real problem with gerrymandering in the areas of our state that have heavy tribal populations, native populations. And the Antiquities Act is the only act that, while protecting the environment, also protects constitutional rights of Native Americans. And so exempting us from the Antiquities Act would basically take tons of rights away from Native tribes.
All right, well, good to see somebody fighting for the tribes, and that's a positive step forward to have someone in the race doing that. So, Mitchell, you say in your bio you're a working class father. So why all of a sudden get into politics when you weren't in politics before?
Well, in 2016, I felt the burn. And for the first time, I felt my resignation and cynicism crack. And so I got involved. I donated to the campaign. I phone banked. I canvassed. I got out there because more than hope for change, we had plans for action. And when the dust settled, I wanted to keep that momentum in my heart and in my mind and in my spirit going. And now that I had something to stand for, something that I was committed to, it was time to just keep that going. And as I looked around the state, in my particular district in Salt Lake City, we're represented pretty well by Democrats in general. But we also fight things like heavily gerrymandered congressional districts and precincts that really favor Republicans. So the statewide race was really the most fair race you can probably run in Utah because, it's the whole show. So it's just a matter of it going out there and connecting with people. And that's what I was really drawn to. Of course, Orrin Hatch was controversial and he wasn't polling very well about a year ago when we started this campaign, but that was still irrelevant. We really looked at the possibility of every American thriving as a message that we could have resonate with the people of Utah. And what I was really committed to was engaging with the people and helping them see past their cynicism and resignation and really show that with action and commitment, we could effectuate real change.
Okay, let's say that you win the Democratic Party. How are you going to take down Mitt Romney? I mean, the guy's a juggernaut. He's got all that money. He's beloved in the state of Utah. So how do you attack him and win the race?
Well, we are both Mormon returned missionaries from France. And I don't know if it's an attack. To me, it's still more about communicating with the voters and the people of the state. We're never going to raise as much money as Mitt Romney has. But again, the Democratic Party, they'll outspend Republicans sometimes 10-1 and still lose because I don't think their message is really resonating and they're not energizing their base and they're not reaching out beyond their bubble and spectrum. So our goal has just been outwork, out-connect, and out-engage the competition. We're even managing that within the party itself. My opponent, she's raised $500,000, but she's spent over $300,000, and we haven't even gone to convention yet. And we're practically a completely volunteer campaign right now. Conserving our resources and being very judicious with what we have, and we're being very effective. And in our estimation, we're outproducing the competition.
All right. Everybody check out votevice.com. I want to put up all the links here for you guys for donations and volunteers. Of course, that'll be, where is it going to be? It's going to be in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube, and in the comment section on Facebook. You know it. Mitchell Weiss taking on the good fight in Utah. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jake. And happy birthday from another Aries.
All right, excellent. Thank you.